It's no secret, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram's quality is down, but their prices are up. And finally, they're starting to realize we need to lower some prices. They're starting to bring rebates and incentives. They even lowered some 2025 models compared to 24s. But what is that going to do? Rebates of a few thousand here or there? It's just simply not enough. Even 25, 35% off on an $87,000 pickup truck. Yeah, that's what some of these Rams cost. You don't even get a Hemi anymore. I think it was a Longhorn Ram pickup, 2025. $87,000, but guess what the dealership pays for that truck? Invoice is anywhere right around $79,000 to $80,000, so the dealership pays invoice for the vehicle. But in addition to that, they get holdback from the manufacturer, which is anywhere from 1% to 3%, so probably another $2,000 sent from the manufacturer for holdback to the dealer. So they only own it for around $77,000 to $78,000, and they have some good profit in there. That's $10,000 profit if they sell it for MSRP. But you guys know over the last few years, dealers were selling at or over MSRPs, so they got so fat and happy and they can't get out of that, and they need to realize they need to increase their discounts big. So there's a Ram pickup that's $87,000 that has over $10,000 in profit if the dealer sells it at MSRP, but guess what? In order to sell that $87,000 pickup truck, you need $35,000, $40,000 off, to be honest. That is an $87,000 truck. That should only be $50,000 or $60,000. That's the thing. High-end trucks, they just went completely insane. I don't know where they think Ram is a luxury brand. Even Jeep went luxury. You walk up to a Wrangler, a base model Wrangler, two-door, will be $47,000 or $48,000. That's what the MSRP is. The invoice is going to be lower than that by thousands of dollars. And the higher the trim level, the invoice spread is always farther from the invoice to the MSRP, so the dealer makes even more, but that means they can discount even more. But they're so used to not discounting, some of them just honestly can't get over the fact. And it's going to be very interesting to see what happens, because we need huge discounts. Dealers are finally starting to realize this inventory is sitting and it's not moving. It's starting to become eye-opening when you have cars having birthdays or multiple birthdays. 2023 is still on your lot. Think about what the general manager thinks. I mean, I don't know what world he's living in, but this is the reality of a lot of Dodge, Jeep, and Ram dealerships, and they're begging Stellantis for rebates, for incentives, for all this stuff to help them sell it, but the dealerships have to step up as well. So it's a big mess going on. Everything's overpriced, quality's down. They don't even pay that much for this overpriced junk, but think about what Stellantis is building it for. Think about how much profit Stellantis is making. All they did is lower the quality, increase plastic on all these trucks, take away the Hemi. I mean, they definitely cheapified everything, especially with Carlos Tavares. That was his goal, to make it as cheap as possible, and it really bit him now. And now the company's dealing with a lot of issues because of that. But think about how cheap they're making that $87,000 truck. Who knows, but I bet you it's nowhere near $80,000 that they're selling it to the dealer for. But it's not sold yet. That's the funny part. It's going to sit there for probably close to a year until the dealership discounts it, until manufacturer like Stellantis starts giving huge rebates for Ram. Every model they have needs huge rebates, and it's crazy to see that happen because Jeep used to be somewhat affordable. A Wrangler, they were never necessarily cheap, but they weren't $100,000 like they are now. It is completely insane where these prices have went, and obviously Stellantis is trying to take advantage, but people are starting to become smarter and not buy their overpriced junk. And it's just crazy to see this happen because 2025s are coming out with a little bit lower MSRPs than 2024 on certain make and models. So to see that happen in the car industry with almost every manufacturer is crazy because that's never happened before. 25s are always more expensive. But whenever you had these manufacturers rose the MSRP so much, they realized they have to come back to reality, and they're just not a luxury brand. When has Jeep, Ram, Dodge became a luxury brand? It seems like that's where they're trying to go, but it just doesn't even fit their clientele base, and they're completely lost in the sauce, for real. They completely live in another world over the last few years. They got so fat and happy, and now they got a taste of reality. And finally, Carlos Tavares is out of here. They made some moves. They're trying to change it up. Tim Kuniskis is back. They're trying to adjust things, but I don't know if it's actually going to do anything because I know where their mind's at. Their mind's on the money, and I don't know if they can give it up for a few years to fix the situation that they caused by trying to lower costs, by trying to maximize profit, and putting their customers on the back plate. And now guess what? I mean, they lost so many customers. Brand new Jeeps were coming without paint. I mean, The quality is not even funny. The Grand Wagoneer, 150 grand. You're talking about a Jeep, guys. It just doesn't even fit their clientele base. And yeah, guess what the dealership pays for that $150,000 Grand Wagoneer? Not anywhere near that. You're talking 20 grand almost in profit for the dealership if they're able to sell it for MSRP. But who in the world would buy a Grand Wagoneer for MSRP? But I bet someone has bought one for over MSRP before, and I feel very sorry for you, because this is the other deal. As discounts increase, the used market's going to start coming back to reality too. All these used vehicles are very overpriced, so you buy a Grand Wagoneer, I mean, that thing loses so much value, it's not even funny. It is not even funny. 130 turns into 30 in a few years. It's crazy. Let me know what you think about Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Some say they could go out of business. I mean, it's a complete mess going on, but we'll see. Let me know what you think. Have a great day and stay blessed.